Sabay. Sabay.
Rezbt-S
Podcast.
Tita Rez, matulog ka na later kasi baka manghina na naman yung tuhod mo. Rez.
Hello, my name is Rez, and you're listening to the number one Based Tagalog podcast. This show is called the Rezbt-S podcast. And tutuloy natin ngayon yung trip ko na pag-usapan is the Racies. Ang Rezbt-S podcast po ay isang Tagalog podcast kung saan ito ay linguistic shows. It's my personal podcast where I get to talk about what I think the Tagalog is up to as a language, and or what I hear in the Tagalog living, or what I read, what I learn, what I constantly battle with, or constantly have to translate constantly. Tuloy-tuloy lang tayo. This is a long format sort of content creation as we speak. I do it, currently doing it twice a week. And I'm recording in my studio called Future Studio. And thank you for joining me lagi. But because of course this is a solo podcast, yung style na ginagawa ko sa solo podcast is just really be honest, try to, be a good boy. Kasi hindi ko naman kailangan patunayan na marami akong alam, or hindi ko naman kailangan patunayan na kumaga, meron pa rin akong mindset na wala na akong kailangan patunayan, at least sa sarili ko. But kung gusto mo may patunayan ako sa iyo, just let me know. It's funny because I can totally transition from this to speaking about bureaucracy, which is the second Racies in the Racies series that I am talking about. Kumbaga, it's just funny because parang lagi natin tinitreat yung mga leaders natin as if kailangan meron silang patunayan sa atin. And in English, we almost act like our leaders have something to prove to us. So obviously, there's a big mistrust between our leaders and their followers, and we as followers, right? It's very interesting to me because when I searched the definition of bureaucracy, bureau being a group, a top group, bureau yung sabihin ng top congregation, so to speak. Kumbaga, I'll explain it in a bit because I know where, I think I know, I'm not gonna leak the whole, baka sabihin mo kasi spoiler alert masyado, or like sa simula pa lang alam mo na yung gusto kong sabihin. Baka hindi mo pa to alam, I'm opening up myself then to the fact na baka hindi ko rin to alam talaga pa. So when I'm able to share this, which is, I'm still talking about the content part, when I'm able to share this, dun ko siya mas lalong natututunan. And then I can move on na, kumbaga, ano na rin to kumbaga, parang training for content creation. And it's something that I've been doing for a while now. And it's very, ano ba to in, I guess, whimsical. Nakakabaliw minsan, ano ba to? Alam mo yun, parang ano ba tong pinapanood ko? Ba't ka ba nandito? Ba't ba ako ulit nandito? And I ask you the same question. Why are you even, how did you find out about Rezbt-S podcast? How did you find out about me? And how did we sort of reconcile this you and me kind of thing between us and my voice and the content that we make? Bago lang yung channel. So forgive me if hindi pa siya up to standards, but I always put sound first, and I always try to, identity first, and then sound first, and sound identity sort of thing. And then kaya naman medyo tinatapang-tapangan ko lang sarili ko to talk about bureaucracy. This is the second now. You can also review the previous episode. I also talked about bureaucracy there, and it's just really an unloading of of what I know. Kumbaga, this isn't what I think is good. It's not about what I think which is good. It's just about what I think I know that I could unload. Diba? Sometimes I talk about evil stuff, I talk about bad things. You talk about mostly I talk about bad things. And then mostly I talk about good things, which is what makes me smile, what makes me react this way, what makes me think that I'm someone, but I believe that yung impact nito on me, as long as I'm making my intentions pure, making them known, not hiding them, is has a very special effect on someone that is on the other side, so to speak. But stemming from that, that's only just me. We are all part of some sort of, like I said in the previous one, pinanganak pa lang tayo, meron ng mga nandyan na. Nandyan na yung sistema ng technocracia. Andyan na yung looming technocracy. Andito na yung bureaucracy. Matagal na. So, it's up to us to understand it so that, kwento ko lang, no? I'll just jump right into it. I have a best friend na best friend ko nung bata pa ako sa school. So, parang may nakwento siya sa akin na nangyari sa nanay niya na parang na-mob siya sa internet for like being political. All of a sudden, biglang inad na. Alam niyo, usually pag mga magugulong time sa internet, biglang binash na siya, inad siya ng maraming tao, tapos binusan siya ng maraming content ng mga ganyan. Na-mob siya basically. Na-mob siya by netizens. And then I'm so blessed to have not experienced that on this space yet. But because an outpouring of negative things, ang hirap pakita nun minsan ang hirap to stay. It's easy to stay in that, to be part of that mud, but it's hard to get out of that. It's really hard to get that stuff out. Parang what do you need to do in order to really parang maalis mo talaga yun. And minsan nainis ka sa sarili mo because you could feel that it's inside you, di ba? Nasa loob mo, tapos parang nararamdaman mo pa rin. And the answer is just learn. Just learn every day. And learn with me, learn with people who you trust. If you can't trust me yet, then okay lang din. But I hope I get to contribute some sort of long format relaxation, entertainment, educational thing for you, because me and my friends, we've all been seeing the times na kailangan nga naman talaga in your own way tend to the part of the garden that you can touch. So if I'm touching you that way, or if you're touching me that way, then let's get it started. The Racies series is all about big things that we can only talk about and never conquer. And kahit umalis pa tayo dito, kahit mawala na tayo dito, these things will still stay with humanity. Kahit mamatay ka na bukas, diba? It's annoying that way. And that's why I want to talk about it, right? Because no one else, ako na lang, diba? Parang kesa yung tito mo or kesa yung ate mo, diba? Busy siya. Nagets mo yun. Kung di mo naman nagets, just keep on listening. Sorry. And I want to apologize for my disclaimers. Galing kasi ako sa banda life. Galing ako sa music life na ang uso doon, puro disclaimer lang. Kaya wala silang ari-arian eh. Kasi lahat na disclaim nila. Kaka-practice mo of disclaiming people, disclaiming yourself, wala kang nakiklaim. Although our topic for today is almost always about claiming. I mentioned in the previous episode that for me, bureaucracy starts in forms. So, pag nag-apply ka, pupunta kang trabaho mo or kakuha kang trabaho mo or pupunta kang states or mag-a-apply ka ng marriage contract or mag-a-apply ka ng bago mong anak. Lahat yan may forms, di ba? Ang kailangan mong ipasok dun sa bureaucracia nung pinag-uusapan mong, yung currently kinabibilangan mo na espasyo. Di ba? Kunyari, bawal mag-anak ng more than 5 dun sa, sa condo nyo or sa tirahan nyo. Di ba? Dapat 2 lang kayo dun or 3 lang kayo. Di magsa-sign up ka ulit ng kung ano-ano. That's the start of bureaucracy. Writing. Put it into writing. That I think is the start of bureaucracy. Because a bureaucracy is all about government. And I mentioned government, not just the real government of like national governments, but also government in terms of status and officiality and authoritativeness and thought process and times. Parang spirito ng times. Yung sasabi nilang spirito ng times. Kasi iba, hindi naman nila na ano yun eh. Hindi nila iniisip pa yun, bata pa sila. Pero yung, when you're thinking about the spirit of the times, I was exposed to this when, yung 9/11 stuff. Alam nyo na yun, 9/11 conspiracies, Kubrick, moon landing, UFOs. Once you sort of nakakita ka na ng memes about that, nakakita ka na ng information about that, then parang nagigising ka na dun sa nagigising ka na dun sa what's out there. That's the only, nun, yun yung only benefit nun, pero minsan hindi pa rin yun yung totoo. Kasi ang hirap ka naman malaman kung ano yung totoo when sinasabi na nga mismo ng things na hindi nila alam din yun. The unknown unknowns, so to speak, na tinatawag din. Now, in relevance to my sort of purpose for this show, kati na naman ng ilong ko, sorry. Relevant to this, eto na po, magtatagalog na. Yung Tagalog kasi medyo nahuhuli siya eh. Nahuhuli siya or iniisip ng mga tao na nahuhuli siya, ethnic daw siya. Iniisip ng mga tao na Tagalog and Filipino parehas lang. I won't delve on it on here. Just check out in the ibang episodes if you want. But diba, magkaiba yun talaga. So yun yung magandang pag-usapan kasi may mga na-encounter tayo sa English na nakikita lang natin as graphics. Our mind processes it as graphics and then our monkey mind says, ay, kaya ko pala to eh. Kaya ko palang mangbash ng babae. Kaya ko palang mambash ng lalaki, babae, lalaki. Kaya ko palang mambash ng matatanda eh. Kaya mo kung kaya mo, pero naintindihan mo ba yung sasabihin mo? Diba? Naintindihan ko ba? Sorry for the passionate extremes. Nasanay lang sa expressiveness ng Tagalog, diba? Pero ang Tagalog ngayon is lazy. Lazy ass. Yun ang Tagalog ngayon. And pero naintindihan mo ba yung sasabihin mo pag tinatranslate mo yung mga English tropes? Because those are English tropes. And then the Based Tagalog thing has its own tropes. If we don't follow that trope, then hindi tayo nagsasabay-sabay. Pag di tayo sabay-sabay, ibig sabihin, nasa ibang Netflix ka, bro. Ibang maling show yung pinuntahan mo. Nasa maling show yung sinusundan mo. Or, hindi naman sa mali, di ba? Parang, kumbaga, napanood na namin yan eh. Napanood ko na yan, napanood mo na yan, inuulit mo pa, di ba? Gusto mo ba talaga yun for yourself? Yung inuulit-ulit mo yung napanood mo na? Hindi ko alam kung pwede rin. Sa totoo lang, pwede rin. Pwede rin. But, yung bureaucracy that I want to introduce, that I want to unload talaga in this part is the fantastical bureaucracy. I'd like to call it that. Kasi nasabi ko na yung parang bureaucracy ng tao, diba? That's the fantastical bureaucracy. Kasi yung ibang bureaucracy, yun na yung legit, yun yung the shit. Kumbaga, kung wala na akong ibang maiisip, yung bureaucracy naman talaga yung the shit eh. Diba? Kasi, pupunta ka sa Department of ganito, immigration ng airport pa lang, kailangan the shit na. Para malaman nung bisita mo, o ito yung bureaucracy namin. Automated, may ilaw, automatic, and nagre-record, digital. Eh yung bureaucracy natin, nakakaiyak. Nakakatawa rin, di ba? Dalawa na yan. Yung pangatlo, hindi na kailangan sabihin. Yung pangatlo, hindi na kailangan sabihin, di ba? Ang mahirap sa mga tao sa Pilipinas na gustong tumira dito, ayaw nila yung napamumunuan sila. Or di nila kilala nga actually yung kung sino namumuno sa kanila, hindi nila kilala. Kinikilala nila, kunwari, pero di nila kinikilala talaga. Di nila iniisip talaga na tao rin yun, bureaucracy nga ng tao eh. It's a fantasy bureaucracy. It's a fictional type of bureaucracy. Because at the end of the day, it's still being written, is my point that I want to share or record here now. Because ang hirap naman talaga, tinatry lang din yun, diba? Bureaucracy yung ganyan. Tinatry lang din nila eh, kasi nagkakascade yung, may cascading effect yun. Eh kung late ka na dun sa ooze, late ka na dun sa, kumbaga, sa source, habol ka, langoy ka pa, diba? And di yun dapat nakakadismaya. Yung pag nare-realize mo na, ay, di pala totoo yung sinusunod ko. That's relevant to bureaucracy, I think, because once nagkaka-idea ka na kung ano yung bureaucracy, dun ka na naman dadaya eh. Dun ka na matututo kung paano dadayain yung mga tao dun, yung sarili mo. It's part of it, you know. Not the cheating na romance. Eh. Iba naman yung sa romance na cheating. Kung wala nang there's no justice in romance, as my best friends, as my friends put it, you know. Wala namang lawyer for romantic love eh. Alam mo. Pero yung love of state, love of country, love of social society, may justice dun. Merong pangangatwiran dun. So, but when you're starting to realize na parang fictional naman yung hindi man totoo yung parang isipin mo, ito na lang para maging na lang tayo, maging modern tayo. Pag president na yung next president, pag president na yung nabunggo ko yung wire. Pag president na yung next president, isipin nyo ang gaano ka-fictional yun. Yung pangarap ng mga tao na magkaganong type of, natatawa ako, sorry. Magkakaganong tayong type na pinuno. Diba? It sounds fictional, but it is bureaucracy. So, I'm calling it sort of a fictional bureaucracy because we're, yung kultura natin influenced by Espanyol, Portuguese. So like we're like Asian Mexicans, right? You're like Asian Mexicans. If from our Tagalog counterparts in the rest of the world, Tagalog is like Asian Mexicans na the shit, right? Because we speak Tagalog. I mean, sila hindi naman matagal pa bago maabot sa kanila yung Tagalog eh. Kasi gagawin na lang Based Tagalog, right? Or we actually speak the Based Tagalog 0. Kumbaga tayo yung point of Based Tagalog 0. Sila, pagdating sa kanila, Based Tagalog 2.0 na eh. Or like -3. Yung parang papunta pa lang din sila. Kasi dito nga yung source. Papunta tayo sa source. Hindi ka naman paalis sa source eh. Di ba? Papunta ka lagi sa source. Hindi ka laging paiwas sa source. Kabubuan yun. Yun yung science. Yun yung tinuturo ng science about anyway, let's not get there. That's theocracy. Dito muna tayo sa bureaucracy, yung fictional bureaucracy na gusto kong tawagin na parang, totoo ba yun na parang ganito yung ginagawa ng mga government sa mga nag-aanak ng masyadong marami? Kailangan pala nilang mag-sign Kailangan pala nila magbayad ng tax. Tapos paano mo ibabayad yung tax, diba? May pupunta sa bahay mo. Hindi. Ba't nila gagawin yun, diba? Ikaw pupunta sa kanila. Diba? Tapos, ano pa ba yung mga forms ng bureaucracy? And then minsan, I guess, from your perspective, minsan bata ka pa, naririnig mo lang ito naman. Ako naman nung bata ako, naririnig ko pa lang ito. Ang alam ko pa lang na bureaucracy is pass your papers. Pass your papers. Pass your papers. Right? But if you're a rebel, you're starting not to pass your papers, you're starting to like create your own sort of system, create your own sort of money-making schemes, you are essentially trying to have your own fictional bureaucracy, your own version of bureaucracy. And wala namang masama doon. Wala namang masama doon kung you're still learning na gagawa ka ng sarili mong forms, gagawa ka ng sarili mong GUI, graphical user interface, gagawa ka ng sarili mong network, diba? If you're on Facebook, Facebook allows for you to create that, or Google allows for you to create that. So like sub-versions of the forms, right? Pero pag tinrace mo pataas, dun sa higher level, meron pa rin silang sarili nilang rules. For example, nung YouTube, bawal na gumawa, kailangan mo na aminin kung gumagawa ka ba ng content for kids. Kung pwede ba sa kids yung content mo. Checkmark, please. Kung sa Google, kung ano ka ba, hindi ko alam sa Google eh. Sa Facebook, kung extremist ka ba. Sa Facebook kasi iniipon nila yung extremists eh. Nilalagay nila sa mga dulo-dulo para hindi ipon-ipon sa gitna. Masama nga naman yung ipon-ipon yung extremists sa gitna eh, di nagka-black hole. Dapat sa labas. Yung mga extremists na black na mag-isip. Kasi pag sa loob sila, sa gitna sila lahat, edi mabablack hole tayo. Dapat sa Facebook, sa labas sila. Sa Facebook. Yun yung bureaucracy, diba? Kumbaga, even that, kakalabanin yun ng technocracy. Kasi yung technocracy, syempre hindi rin, yung technocratic lifestyle, dinatnan niya rin yung bureaucracy. May mga times na nawawala yung technology, diba? May mga times na nasisira yung technology, hindi nalalaman ng mga tao paano gamitin, or tinatamad sila. Yun na lang mismo eh. Nakakatamad yung bagong technology. Okay pa naman yung phone ko eh. Ba't ako mag-i-improve? Diba nararamdaman ba yung improvement ng mga racy na yan? Nararamdaman ba yan? If you are listening to the audio, please do check out the new video format. It's on YouTube, also Rezbt-S podcast. By the way, plug ko lang kasi ayun, parang, you know, it adds a certain, I'm still very selfish about it, you know, it adds just a certain, for me, level of challenge. Because I am talking alone, recording, and right now, my fictional bureaucracy right now, aminin ko is like, na nagbo-broadcast ako. This isn't actually being broadcast, this will be uploaded. But sometimes I do broadcast it. But I have trained myself na gawin as if bibigay ko lahat, diba? Binibigay ko lahat for the recording because I am a recording addict. And then, okay, personal na lang, I guess. Mismo sa recording, may bureaucracy na nangyayari. Except it's it's kept at a very tribalistic, primitive thing, I think. Because recording is a digital form of writing, so to speak. A new way of writing. Literally new. Literally. Wala pang 20 years yung ginagawa na. Wala pang 50 years, 40 years, you know. Yung ginagawa natin na to na record yung mukha, record yung boses, sabay-sabay, and then biglang bukas, tapos na. Wala pang ganun before. Maybe may ganun na before. But what I'm saying is, it has its own fictional bureaucracy na hindi mo pa nakikita or gusto mo palang imagine. For example, magre-record ka, uy, first time ko marinig yung boses ko. Ganito pala ako tumawa. Ganito pala yung sound ko pag masaya ako. Ganito pala yung sound. Ganito pala yung mukha ko pag olats yung sinasabi ko. Diba? Ganito pala bang joke yung mga tao. Kasi, kala nila, ang ganda ng sinasabi nila. So the bureaucracy there I'm just gonna be meta about it. Forgive me if I do. Yung bureaucracy there is yung awareness ng ano ba yung hindi man sa tama, pero like, ano yung authoritative doon? It's still on the state of objectivity. Hindi subjectivity. Hindi subjectivity. Subjectivity kasi iba-iba. Kailangan objective. Meron parang, di ba? Ano yung objective sa Tagalog? Hindi ko alam eh. Wala atang salin yun eh, subjectivity. Huwag na, sama na natin yun. Based Tagalog unlocks objectivity and subjectivity. Ngayon ko lang ulit naalala, you know? It's very objective to be authoritative. Meron kang binubuo eh. Objective. Diba? Pag subjective, meron kang parang pinipili. Pili-pili yan. Pili-pili. Pili-pili. O kahit ano, gusto nyo, buffet, subjective. Pag may binubuo, objective yun. So yung bureaucracy and recording, it's very objective, you know. And this is for content creators, for people who want to look at it this way. Content creation, there's an authority for content creation. You know, there's an ideal sort of way of doing things, and then that you can put on recording. Let's say, yung first na tao na nag-record ng Earth stuff, like atmospheric, you know, punta siya sa sky, bumaba siya. Yung first na tao na nakagawa nun, doesn't he form a sort of objective, doesn't he objectify himself in like this moment, on that record, on that piece of writing, digital writing? So yun yung, that fictional thing, and I'm doing the hand gesture thing na parang quote-unquote fictional, quote-unquote real. You know, existentialist risks, right? That risk of being able to do that forwards, that creates change in the way you see what is bureaucratic. Ito yung standard. Ito yung the rock of the thing. Sabihin, kahit anong gawin mo, wala ka pa rin dun. Diba? Wala ka pa rin dun sa nagawa na nun. Or ginawa na naman. And that's I think you know, I'm very happy being able to express that, because I believe that, you know, I believe that's how real bureaucracy naman is practiced. But a fictional bureaucracy is nonetheless also cool. Why? Because we're still writing forms, we're still making shit up, diba? We are still parang joining the illusion of it all, Maya. The illusion na minsan gusto natin, yay, you know, kahit naman ako eh. Like sinabi ko, diba, once I do my podcasting work, after I've done my recording, after I've created what I want to create, the objective thing, mamaya kakain ako, lalaro ako, tatambay ako dun sa labas, maglalakad-lakad, exercise, kakausapin ko yung pamilya ko. My dad, I usually talk to my dad because that's your earliest way of figuring out, how to go about leadership, how to go about governance. Diba? Kung galit, siguro ngayon, mga tao, maraming galit sila sa, maraming galit sa tatay nila, diba? Siguro, kung may galit ka sa tatay mo, tapos deserve naman niya, ayusin nyo na lang. Bahala ka na dun, diba? Problema mo na yun. Di ba, problema mo naman talaga yun eh. Problema rin ng pamilya nyo yun. Because you have to fix that from your home. You have to fix that from your spot para maayos mo yung connect mo dun sa, kaya yun yung sub-bureaucracy mo, ko-connect ka ngayon dun sa upper bureaucracy. And that matters really because what I'm trying to say is kailangan mo lang naman tanggapin na meron eh. Kailangan mo lang naman tanggapin na, yung meron nga palang bureaucracia. Ganun lang. Tapos, huwag mong babanggain. Yun yung parang, sige, kumaga, that's my non-joke thing, by the way. Huwag mong babanggain yung bureaucracia. Kasi, minsan underground yun eh. Baka mabaon ka pag binangga mo. Kailangan, naiintindihan mo yung itsura, yung physicality ng bureaucracia. Because it's very, very real. In the sense na may buildings, may mga katauhan, may mga characteristics, may mga secret passages, may mga secret locations, wala namang bureaucracia yung yung mga, may bureaucracia ba yung nature? O yun na lang. May bureaucracy ba yung nature? I don't think so as much, We are bureaucratic towards nature. But nature itself, hindi na, tapos na eh. Anthropocene na eh. Diba? That the man, anthro, will rule the planet. This whole thing, this nature thing. Tayo na yung bureaucracy na mag-a-apply sa animals, plants, insects. Right? I think that's the way I could express that. Kaya nga maganda sa Tagalog, favorite Tagalog word ko is alaga lang, alaga. Take care, ingat. Be careful, Be sound. Diba? Be sound. Alam mo yung pag natutulog ka, tas you're like, silence. And then someone says your name. Michelle. Michelle. Parang ganun. Diba? Tas hindi naman ikaw si Michelle. But, may tumatawag. And then like, diba, out of nowhere, that sound is like what the fuck, right? I'm giving that example because wala yung train of thought ko. Because, I think that sound that's the real nature of sound na parang, sa totoo, meron laging sound. It's that pumipikit lang yung pangdinig natin. That's how I put it. Nagpapahinga yung pandinig natin. Nagpapahinga yung pandinig mo eh. Hindi naman lahat ng bagay. Minsan 'di ba parang matutulog ka, tapos magigising ka, tapos natutulog ka ulit. Nakakatawa yung tsura ko. 'Di ba ganun? Matutulog ka, tapos parang alimpungatan ka. Tapos minsan, pag inaral mo yung alimpungatan moment, gumaganon eh. How do you call this? It like compresses you and then decompresses you fast. Because natalo ka ng antok or vice versa. But you feel that awareness, presence, listen, then it's safe, right? So you go back to sleep. Because it's safe. Because it's sound, right? You like what you sort of listen to. Okay, wala ditong tao. Mag-isa lang ako natutulog. Okay, kasama ko si ganito. Okay, kasama ko yung ganyan. Matulog. But it's what I mean by a sound way of accepting bureaucracy. Because I don't want to really sort of, talk about the Racies in terms of like, araw-araw, ganito na lang. I'm always just talking about this because, in a way, ito na yung wake of pakikiuso. And this is my way of saying that to myself na, ito na yung bagong form of rant, so to speak. Or form of, maybe an educational fashion of seeing it or sharing it. Diba? Yun na yung form ko of, this is my form of personal leadership. Right? A personal understanding being shared because I want to. Hindi ko, ayaw mapigilan eh. Alam mo yun. Kasi sabi sa akin ni Peterson, if you can read, write, and speak, then you are unstoppable. Nakapagbabasa ako. Nakapagsusulat din ako. Nagsusulat pa rin ako. And then, now, I'm training myself to talk about stuff. So you see, makikita mo yung mga uso ngayon na memes na parang, sabi nito, ganito ito yung mukha niya, ito yung pangalan niya, tapos sabi niya ganito, may text dun. Form of bureaucracy yun, na ito yung sabi nito, sabi ng ganyan. But the sort of, for me, it's still, ako sa akin lang still a fictional bureaucracy. Fictional. Kasi bukas nga, kung di mo naman sinave yun, kung di mo naman ginawang poster yun, bukas, iba na yung experience mo of that. Di na yun totoo. Bukas, iba na yung totoo eh. Right? So, kahit ang dami mong sinave dyan na, kaya nga may red pills eh, diba? Yung red pills na memes na talagang, pag nakabasa ka ng red pill na memes, pag nakabasa ka ng conspiratorial Reddit piece, Reddit, marami mahilig sa Reddit eh, diba? Yung, pag nakabasa ka ng ganun, or naka-expose ka ng ganun, you're like, oh my, I'm not gonna I can't sleep with this, or I have to process this. And how do you process it? You create content. Wala na akong ibang gusto i-share about bureaucracy. Baka itong episode na lang na to. Wala na kasi parang sobrang, again, they're just trees. They're just baobabs. And like, they're just like things that we have to tend to. So, kumbaga in my head, I'm just like gupit-gupit and like tend to the garden. If I don't, then kahit ako, masisiraan ako ng bait eh. Alam mo yun, masisiraan ako ng bait sa, hindi ko na alam kasi kung yung kailangan ko paniwalaan na, ano ba yung sasabi ng mga tao, bakit nila pinag-uusapan yung mga ganitong bagay? Bakit nila sinasabi ganito? Para namang may mabigat silang para namang may mabigat silang naaambag sa buhay ko pag nabasa ko to sa comment section. Diba? Diba ganun yung feeling mo minsan na parang, ano ba itong sinuscroll ko? Hindi ko ba na ganun minsan na kakascroll natin, parang, ano ba to? Bakit ba ganito tayo? Ba't to ganito sila? Then you start to question, do I have a word for this? Oh yeah. Easy. Right? The Racies series is all about that. Based Tagalog podcast, this show is all about my personal way of recording that. And if you're listening to that, ibig sabihin, ito na talaga yung gusto kong sabihin ngayon. Kasi nga, at least may sinasabi ako, diba? At least parang di ko lang tinype na parang gusto ko lang ng likes. Diba? At least, diba? Or at least hindi ko ni-record ng pahapyaw lang sa Facebook. Ni-record ko, may camera, merong recorder, tapos naka-date, naka-publish. At least ganun yung style. Para, pagbalikan ko to in the future, so that's what I was thinking then. Or this is what the state that I was feeling as Tagalog that time. And that's amazing because, I mean, how else will I train myself to produce better thoughts, better ways of seeing things? How else? Paano na, diba? Parang ganun ang sistema ng bureaucracy. Paano na kung naubusan ng pera yung ganyan? Paano na kung nagkasakit yung ganito karaming tao? Paano na kung nawala sa posisyon si ganito, si ganyan? Diba? So yung bureaucracy, yung pag-form nun, again, yung nirereklamo mo, that doesn't make you bureaucratic. Kasi yung bureaucratic, pinipili. Pili nga yun eh. Yung definition nga is, sa definition nga, hindi nga sila pinili ng tao eh. Hindi pa yun. Iba pa yung bureaucratic talaga. By definition yun By definition, iba pa yung government ng pinili ng tao. Iba pa yung pinili ng iba. Right? That's the bureau. Yun yung sabihin ng bureau. Right? So, it's nice to see it that way na parang, oh man, there are levels to this, right? There are levels to this and it's designed that way na may backup yung backup. Right? So it's interesting to just realize that na kasi ikaw, so that ikaw or ako nung dati, parang oo nga pala. 'Di ba? Like oo nga pala, ganyan nga pala yung mag-isip mga Tagalog. Kaya pala tayo may train. Kaya pala tayo magkakasubway na, 'di ba? Kaya pala tayo may mga piloto. Kaya pala tayo kalat. Nasa kung saan na part na tayo ng mundo as Tagalog. Kasi ganun nga pala tayo mag-isip. Ganun nga pala ganun nga pala i-design yung Tagalog bureaucracy. Ganun nga pala mag-translate yung mga Tagalog ng mga naiintindihan nila tungkol sa mundo. Kasi kailangan natin sabihin, kailangan kong i-share sa inyo. Kailangan kong ilabas eh. Kailangan ko sabihin on a meta scale, you know. I just want to record it, bro. I just want to say it. I just want to sort of I'm not even like I need to say this, blah, blah. I'm just okay, for today, for now, this is what I want to say on this podcast, that it exists at least. And reviewing back, this forms for me a good placement move. Kumbaga, a good lagay, a good, ano tawag sa ganun? Like, you know how like martial artists just place their punches, place their asinta. Diba? Asintado ka eh. Dapat asintado ka eh. Na alam mo kung saan mo sinusundot. So, kumbaga, or alam mo saan mo nilalagay yung pyesa mo, diba? So, kung ilalagay ko lang doon, I want to put it there. This thing exists nga pala. This definition exists. This sort of this piece, this design exists nga pala. Hindi yung puro pawn lang. Sa simula lang yun, puro pawn lang. Siyempre, nagagalaw na rook dyan. Diba? Imposibleng wala. And once you see it that way, I think maybe malalaman mo na kung maniniwala ka ba dun sa mga nakikita mong nakasulat sa internet. And I'm talking to myself when I say that, because I'd rather believe in, you know, the now than I'm constantly sort of being bombarded by like, ano yan? Ano ba yan? Parang ganun. Again, the Racies series is all about the three Racies. It's technocracy, bureaucracy, and then theocracy. I'll see you on the next episode. But thanks for listening. And my name is Toledo, Rezbt-S podcast. Out.